Hey Alex here. So, a few days ago, yesterday, with how slow time moves at the beginning of Madden, I put out a tweet saying, I'm a little concerned about MUT this year. Paraphrasing it. Basically, there's enough little things about the mode that are making me nervous for it. So, I got a response, and this is probably the best way of summing it up, and I'm going to go through why a lot in this video, and I'm going to try not to get too passionate, of course, and yell into the mic, because the baby's currently sleeping, but we'll see what happens. Goodfox, I haven't bought the game yet, just played the try, felt a little disappointed with how slowly you level up, how little coin reward there are, I'm no money spent and fear it might be too much time to be competitive this year, do you think I should still buy the game? And I haven't responded to him because I don't know how, right? And that's a problem, right? Because we've seen with other games how well they've done with the content to lure guys in to keep them, playing, grinding, improving their team, having fun that way. MLB The Show is always the gold standard we go to on that. And it feels like every year in Madden, for the last few years, they've gotten more miserly, more cheap, right? They basically make it harder to grind because if you look into a lot of the things they've done this year, and let's just talk right off the bat for rewards, right? They killed everything from XP in solos, XP in head-to-head, draft champion rewards, offline and online, salary cap, coins from platinum cards are down, head-to-head rewards are down, packs that you get from grinding the head-to-head like Weekend League are down, according to sources from other people, so... But it's along the same line, so I'll tend to believe it, right? Like, it's gotten to a point where it feels like they're trying to squeeze the penny too hard. They're trying to turn everybody into whales, having to force them to buy packs to compete in this game. And there's a variety of reasons why they're doing that, right? Because they're trying to turn everybody into whales, which is absolutely the wrong way of doing it, right? In video games, in these, free-to-play games you see in mobile, they got whales and minnows, right? People that don't play need to be feasted on by the whales in order to keep the whales spending. So the fact that EA is trying to, make everybody into that whale is wrong, right? You need people like the player base there, because if it's just whales left, the game's gonna die, right? You need a population on the game to keep going. And it seems like EA's run, at least MUT, and, franchise looks like it's got improvements, but MUT, by a bunch of amateurs and rookies who don't know what they're doing. And you'd be like, okay, well, I see it. They nerfed XP from solos and head-to-head because bots were taking over, right? And it's true. EA is awful at fighting bots. We saw it last year when over half the PS5 or PS4 leaderboard was bots at one point, until I put out a video showing them, exposing this, and then they ended up starting to get banned at that point. So hopefully that continues. The thing is okay, yeah, I can see why they nerfed solo rewards. They don't want people doing the same thing over and over. Except I already know somebody who's gotten to level 50 with a bot. So who are they harming? The people that are running the bots who literally have gotten no change this year? Or the people that are trying to grind out their game through head-to-head and solos legitimately? Let me give you one guess which one of those groups they're actually harming with their changes, right? These half measures, these issues in the lack of solutions that EA provides to them are just frustrating. And the solutions that they do provide are awful and short-sighted. I don't know who's running that. It feels like the person just got a job, right? We know one of the guys in charge of MUT now comes from the NBA Live staff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I made a joke on this tweet saying, you don't hire the coach of an 0-16 team to lead you and expect greatness. Now, there's nothing against them, right? There's nothing against them at all, right? Here we are in MUT. This is the, computer version because I don't want to run out of trial time when I'm recording videos. So, it's hard for me to tell people to play MUT when MLB The Show is there, right? And I know, and I'm not going to blame it on the frontline devs because it's probably their boss or their boss's boss that are making these decisions to nerf these things because they're cheap, miserly bastards. We saw in EA's quarterly reports, they had to compare Madden 21's playtime to Madden 19, and they're like, yeah, well, pandemic is why the number of people playing went down in 21 versus 20. And it's a lame excuse, right? So those people saying, oh, Madden will never die. People keep playing it more and more every year. It's wrong, right? We literally just saw it. EA admitted it. And EA in these things are always so positive. Oh, the future of the company is great. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's awesome. Don't worry about a thing. So while the revenue may be up, With the player base dying, I worry this stuff turning into Madden Mobile, right? Because we've seen Madden kill football. Literally the biggest player install base in the world is mobile. And EA killed it. They shot themselves in the foot when they got miserly, when they got awful, and they made it unable to buy packs with coins. Like, we're headed to this place, right? These little things. So it's like, it's not one major thing, like I said in the tweet. It's all these little cuts, making it harder to grind the game for coins that are turning people off. Like, the sentiment out there is insanely negative, and EA does nothing but add more gasoline onto the fire with their changes to MUT this year. And in MUT itself, you know, they fixed one thing, they fixed the compare screen, but we've seen other problems crop up, of course. I'm not going to go too much into the amount of bugs in the game right now because, you know, maybe they end up getting through and patching them. But, like, there's a lot of things that, like, it just seems like they throw things together. It's frustrating. Oh, I gotta go here. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, I'm on the PC version. Like I said, I'm not used to this. But, like, you know, they're up at 2:30 a.m. fixing a loophole. If you watched my last video, we had a loophole out there, right? But, like, why aren't they paying these people at 2:30 a.m. to add the things we've requested for years, right? Like, how hard is it to add? And I realize it's more of an effort to add custom audibles that stay game to game, formation subs, which are literally in the game and franchise, just to port it over to Madden Ultimate Team, right? They added the big thing they added this year was stats and strategy cards. That's great. That's great. Stats themselves are half measure. Where are parallels? Why don't they add that to the power-ups? It's been years. It feels like Madden's always trailing the rest of the gaming industry. Like, they'll see somebody else do something, then they'll copy it, right? And instead of being the one in front. And so, like, MUT's the same way. The other games have had stats for years. They just put it in. Parallels. Maybe we'll get them in the future. They're highly requested. I love them. But, like, they don't innovate, right? Strategy cards. They did strategy cards in literally the worst way possible. They did it awfully. Like, and talk about EA being miserly. Like, you can tell the most important thing on this page is right here. No, buy from us. I get it, it's a business, but it just goes to show what they value. And this is way more important. But, like, strategy cards themselves, okay? Let's talk about those. The big innovation. Binder, strategy cards. Instead of, like, what they should have done with these things, so they have them, and then they put it in the worst way. It requires training to power them up to get your chemistries. They needed to make this a training sync, if they needed a training sync, which I don't know why they did. They should have the training sync up front, right? We should have sets. We should have been able to put cards in sets to get these things. But they needed a training way on both ways. I truly don't understand, like, the cheapness, the need to be cheap here. Like, you can also sell more copies, get more people in the game if you make them enjoy it, right? I feel like I'm not properly explaining my point on these strategy cards. But requiring this kind of training for +1 bonuses, I hate it. I absolutely freaking hate it. Awful. Strategy cards were supposed to redeem a little bit of MUT, and they literally are a big fat nothing. And you can say, oh, maybe they'll upgrade strategy cards. Maybe they're going to make no money spent a lot easier going forward. But how do we know that? There's been no communication other than some shitty GMMs that revealed stats, right? When we needed Kralo the most, he disappeared. I love Kralo, but there's no communication with the community right now. And that's the most frustrating fucking thing on the world. So, all these little things are adding up. And just taking them all in at once is fine. Like, in a vacuum, each of them, okay, I can see. But when you add them all up, what innovation have we seen? This is it, on your screen. And it's awful. I don't know. They added momentum. Momentum's terrible. That shouldn't be a MUT. They literally had to disable it because it was making people sick. And, like, visually, but then the other momentum's still there, and it makes me sick that it's still in the game. The legacy bug's still in the game. If you play with somebody in the Cowboys uniforms, you get white on white. It's awful. That's been in the game for, like, 4 years now. So, we need something. We need something. We need house rules weekly. I just don't understand why you don't have your house rules done and then you just constantly rotate them with just updated rewards. 100 stats. They haven't said anything about them. It's been 6 years since we've seen over 100 stats. We're already getting guys into the low 90s at launch. So, overall, it's tough, man. I'm super concerned that, like, people are like, oh yeah, future content. I'm super concerned, like, on these sets, it's just going to be the same promos again, too. We're just going to get sets within sets going forward. Right? The campaign gives you a card. They put 32 sets in the game. I have no idea why I don't make it available to basically getting all these, right? By doing campaign and some more. You get one. Maybe two. I don't recall. I haven't played the campaign. But I know you get one. Very few. But it's not like these cards are God Squad cards. These are like base minimum cards you need to compete online. And you should be able to get these cards right away. Because these are just base elites, dude. These aren't even like the overpowered team builders that cost like 50k a pop. It blows my mind why they can't be more generous with the grind. So that's where I'm at right now with MUT. It's strange because I'm optimistic for gameplay with their day one patch, right? Gameplay's got a lot of rough spots, but they've talked about fixing a lot of the spots that we had that the beta feedback. Like this gameplay is the same as basically the beta. There's less bugs in this game than the beta, but I don't know, MUT, man. They're Madden mobiling this thing. And I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. So, let me know what you guys think. That's it for this video. I really hope they turn around. We need communication. Where's our calendar? We had a calendar last year of upcoming promos and stuff. Where's that? Why'd they get away from that? Were they too lazy to stick to their own script? Like, oh, stuff popped up. Yeah, that's what you get paid for. That's what the 2:30 a.m. calls are for. You can do it to screw up the community, but you can't do it to fix the community stuff, right? They're draining EA. I understand some of this, it's not MUT. But like the company itself, we're having major issues with EA access and people getting it drained even when they've shut down their console. So that's unfairly put on the MUT team right there, that last criticism. But the rest of it isn't. The rest of it is not at all. Whoever is making these changes needs to rethink stuff. You're losing people. So that's it for the video. Please like, subscribe. I will see you guys on the morrow or over on Twitch here in a bit. Peace.